every penny.
If Bosh does leave Miami,
please,
where does that leave LeBron in the decision-making process?
Get your money. First of all, it's going to leave him paid because he deserves it, because he's the best player in the world, and he deserves every damn penny. And I don't care that he doesn't want to give a discount. He's been taking discounts. That's number one. Number two. He's in a very influential position. LeBron James, Chris Bosh leaves. LeBron James goes, in my opinion, and he takes a shot at Melo. And it comes down to New York and Miami. That's my personal belief. I understand what everybody's reporting. I'm not poo-pooing that. I understand that the Lakers are a viable option, you know, and they seem to be number 2 on everybody's list. They are not number 2 on mine because I don't find them to be practical. Chicago is not number 2 on my list because I don't find them to be practical because they're both scenarios call for Melo to struggle just as much as he purportedly would in New York, not to mention taking a significant pay cut. I don't see Melo doing that. But, listen, if you go to Miami, let's be clear about something here. If Miami becomes an option for Melo, not only is Florida no state income tax, you know, no income tax state, but at the same time, Melo could sign a 4-year deal with an opt-out after 3 years, or he could sign a 3-year deal with an opt-out after 2 and then re-up again. Let me tell you something right now. He doesn't have to lose a dime if he goes to Miami. The only risk is that with New York, you would be guaranteeing yourself that money because you would be signing a 5-year deal in order to get all of that money, whereas with Miami, it would be riskier because you're signing a shorter-term deal, and if something happened to you injury-wise, then you curtail that possibility. But to me, there's only one scenario under which Carmelo Anthony, and by the way, I have said this to people close to him. I have said this to his camp. I have made it very, very clear. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to. Chris Broussard, Brian Windhorst, and Mark Steiner, what they're reporting is on the money. I'm not refuting any veracity of what they're saying. I am just saying to you that I have told folks close to Melo, I don't believe a damn word they're saying about Chicago and Los Angeles. I'm telling you right now, it is my belief that Bosh, if he leaves for Houston, the delay in all of this is because if he leaves, LeBron is going to go and try to get him to South Beach. That is my personal belief based on the people that I have spoken to over the last several months. I know that what's being reported is accurate because that's what they're saying to everybody. I'm just saying, I told them to their face, I don't believe them. It's about New York or Miami.
Okay, one of 2 scenarios is happening right under our noses right now, and I'm still not sure which is going on. But either Chris Bosh is actually holding LeBron hostage. That's effectively what you're saying is, if they're all waiting on what Chris Bosh is going to do, then LeBron's future dangles by the thread from which he's attached to Chris Bosh, right? Because if he has no control over what Chris Bosh decides, if LeBron is actually thinking all along, I'm going back to Miami, I'm just going to stay in Miami, I want to go through the motions of this, I like all the attention, but I really want to go back with my guy D-Wade, and CB's coming back, Chris Bosh is coming back, and we're going to retool with McRoberts and Danny Granger, and we're going to be okay. If that's going on, then they're just waiting for Chris Bosh to decide between money or lowball contract to stay in Miami, right? I have to believe there's a master plan in place, a bigger master plan via Pat Riley and LeBron James, 2 of the smartest people in the sport of professional basketball. Neither does anything on a whim, neither is knee-jerk. They have to have had a master plan by which they knew from the start that Chris Bosh was going to get a max deal to go to Houston. And their master plan all along, from the start, months back, was Carmelo. That this was known, this was completely under the radar, it is unreported, but it has to be. That's the only way out of this. Because if it's not that plan, if Carmelo has already decided to stay with Phil in New York, that would mean that LeBron could be left hanging in Miami. He could be forced by default to take the Cleveland offer, right?
Here's the deal. Whether it's a young Cleveland squad that obviously elevates exponentially with the arrival of a LeBron James, or a return to Miami with Bosh and the team intact,
right?
You haven't fallen off the map. You're still a contender. It's just that you're not the favorite. You see what I'm saying? So that's the scenario that's the worst case scenario LeBron is facing.
Right.
So with Bosh having Houston dangled in front of his face, understand that it's not like, oh my Lord, please get the hell out of here. I don't want to play with you any longer. It's that if Bosh stays, what you're saying is, well, what we were is who we'll be. Yeah. With the addition of McRoberts and Danny Granger, the bottom line is we're relatively the same team.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's a decision that LeBron has to make. But the point about watching what Bosh does is because, again, it's the master plan. And the mistake that a guy like Rich Paul, see, Rich Paul, the guy that represents LeBron, everybody talk about, you know, this guy, he's LeBron's agent. Let me tell you something about Rich Paul. Smart as hell. Smart dude. Do not, it's a mistake to underestimate his level of intelligence.
Hey, that whole crew is smart.
The whole crew, Maverick, Randy, they're not dumb. No. Okay? And LeBron is nothing short of brilliant. The man does not make haphazard decisions. Yeah. He is all about business. Everything that is going on are scenarios they anticipated. They could sit there and talk until the cows come home, don't answer their phone, don't return text, or talk to whoever they want to, or be quiet one week, talk the next day. Get over it. Let me tell you something. They know what they're doing. Okay. And anyone who believes that LeBron is up in the wind and doesn't know whether he's coming or going, you do not know LeBron James. Every scenario that has unfolded is a scenario he saw coming. This is how smart this dude is. Okay. He knows exactly what he's doing, and so does Melo.
Okay. Now, allow me to reiterate my position on LeBron and Cleveland that I said yesterday, and I feel more strongly than I did 24 hours ago about what I believe. I don't believe there's any way, shape, or form that LeBron James would choose to go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers as they are, unless there's some big deal in place that I have not foreseen here. I know there's been speculation about a Kevin Love deal, but that roster, and we're going to talk about this later in the show, as is, it's too young and too green for him to walk in there as is next year and say, yeah, I'm good with this. I don't like it for him, and I don't think he likes it for him, because suddenly he would be the lone superstar again. Okay. He would have to carry the whole show. Right. I don't think he would choose to do that, choose that kind of pressure.
I somewhat disagree with you in this respect. He would have never wanted that before he was a champion. But now that he's a champion and a four-time league MVP, I am in no way saying that position is preferable towards being on a championship-ready squad. What I am saying, however, is that I wouldn't summarily dismiss it because there is some appeal, especially as it pertains to going home, where you're going home as the elder statesman, already accomplished, with no one questioning your credentials any longer. To do that and to have, first of all, Kyrie Irving, let me be very clear. That's a bad boy. Okay. Kyrie can ball.
You know what?
He can ball.
And I'm the biggest Kyrie fan was before that draft. Yes. He's still more of a two-guard than a point guard.
But what I'm saying to you is that forget the point and the two when it comes to LeBron on the squad. Because LeBron could play that position.
Well, he'd have to.
I'm just saying, when you have that kind of guy, it doesn't matter. A point guard matters when you don't have a LeBron, a Kobe, or a Jordan. But when you have somebody like that on your squad, every part is interchangeable because of the multifaceted skills that they bring to the table. You can't concern yourself for that. Your point guard matters when it's a point guard center.
I'm going to remind you, that team with Kyrie as its star just went 33-49.
I understand that, but what else did you have? And that's what it comes down to. You got to remember, LeBron is a freak of nature. He causes matchup nightmares wherever you are. You're either too small for him, too weak for him, too slow for him. You can't match his athleticism. He brings a multitude of things to the table. Skip, you can't escape the fact that no matter how skilled you are, if you're just 6 feet, you're just 6 feet. You're limited. I watched Allen Iverson. I covered Allen Iverson for the first 10 years of his career. This dude was a scoring machine. He was unstoppable. He just came at you like a locomotive. But he was 6 feet, man.
And Kyrie's about 6'2".
So what I'm saying to you is that Allen Iverson was sensational. But then he ran into Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you want him to do? It's not. At some point, it's not about that. It's physicality.
So would the
matters.
freak of nature suddenly turn this Cleveland roster into a championship team?
I believe that if LeBron James, and I'm not saying he's going to Cleveland, I believe that if LeBron James went to this Cleveland squad, tell me a team in the East that definitively is better than Cleveland.
The Bulls with Derrick Rose.
No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all. You know why? Because Derrick Rose is your only scoring option. And that's the problem. Defensively, Chicago is an elite team with an elite coach. But offensively, it's still Derrick Rose. Offensively in Cleveland, first of all, Dion Waiters can score. You got LeBron. You've got
Dion
Kyrie.
Waiters does not fit with Kyrie.
I understand that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to you, he would if LeBron was there.
I don't know.
That's where you're missing it.
I don't know.
Come on
Make
now.
it work. To be with King James.
Okay.
Is what we're getting at.
That's why he's King James.
And speaking of King James, 4 years ago today, LeBron made the decision.